Hello, my name is James and welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News. And on today's show we're going to be taking a look at a new Mutants clip that looks fairly awesome. Top Gun Maverick has changed its release date, and Mark Wahlberg has come out and said something about the new Uncharted movie that, he compared it to Indiana Jones. So we'll talk about that on today's show. And, of course, we have a new addition to the Sausage File. You know, today is a big day in the States. It's Super Tuesday. People will be voting. And, it appears that Variety has rerun a story about Antonio Sabato Jr. and his claim to fame. That we'll talk about today on Mirror Domain's Movie News. All right, let's just get to it. So it's not a rather big day in the realm of movie news, but I figure, on today's show we'll just run through some of the headlines and talk about some of the things that really stand out to us. As you know, on this show, you can look down in the comments section and you will see time codes for you guys that you'll be able to click to and just jump to if any of these stories pique your fancy. But first up, we're going to talk about Top Gun Maverick, which is a film that I've been anticipating. I saw the trailers for this. Tom Cruise coming back for a sequel to this was just always fascinating to me. And, he's going to always push the limit when it comes to the boundaries of what he can and cannot do. I mean, come on. He properly learned how to fly a fighter jet in this movie. But Paramount has come out and said they're going to move the release date for Top Gun Maverick, and that's fairly big news, but move it up to how much, I guess they were looking at the weekend schedule, and it was going to go up against a movie called In the Heights that I haven't really heard too much about, but it was slated to come out on June 26th. Now they're moving it up only 2 days, June 24th. It's the summertime, so that's not a really big deal, and they'll be able to get a little bit more from the weekend box office. But, Top Gun Maverick, if you haven't seen the trailers, guys, it looks like one of those movies that you just really, really have to see in IMAX because the fight scenes and everything like that, the dog fight scenes, that just looks like it's going to be epic. I think that's great news. So we get to see it a couple days earlier. That's good. Moving right along, Simon Pegg has come out and talked about new Star Trek movies in a report that he was doing with Games Radar. And he was saying that because of the success of Marvel movies and such, it's kind of put these kinds of movies out of range now. For the most part, come on, these newer Star Trek movies were just way too expensive. They were over $100 million. And Star Trek movies never really made that much money at the box office, so I couldn't see them investing that much for that kind of a return. And say what you will about the Abrams-verse, the J.J. Abrams-verse Star Trek movies, I felt like, maybe it was time to close this off, because as he said in the article, after Anton Yelchin had passed, he played Chekhov, it was kind of like, they've lost the momentum for it, and maybe it is time. I believe it is time for Star Trek, this kind of universe movies to finish off, and we'll see what's going on with the TV shows, if they can somehow regain momentum to go back onto the big screen. But right now, I still think that Star Trek belongs on the smaller screen, despite what you may say about some of them, like Picard right now is just kind of like, ugh. But I think Simon Pegg's onto something, and it's time to put this one to bed. Uncharted! Some Uncharted news has come out. A couple of things, actually. That Tom Holland is on board with this, playing the younger Nathan Drake. But the other day, Antonio Banderas had been announced that he would co-star in this. Now, we don't know what kind of role he is. I'm guessing maybe he's going to be the bad guy. We saw that he was the bad guy, pseudo-bad guy, earlier this year in Doolittle. And we can see that, he's a capable actor of pretty much doing anything. But I figure, Antonio Banderas, he's got that action, cut and pedigree. He can handle stuff like this. And I feel like that's a pretty good fit. But Mark Wahlberg has come out and said, this Uncharted script is pretty good. I'll just pull up the little quote here on the side here where Mark Wahlberg likens the script to Indiana Jones. I think this was with Collider, actually, or something like that, where he came out and said this quote, and I quote, "I start filming in about 2 weeks' time. It's exciting because without giving too much away, it's more of an origin story, meeting them. And Nathan becoming Nathan, Sully and him meeting." Yeah, Mark Wahlberg is playing Sully. Continuing with the quote, "Trying to not only get over on each other, but also starting to partner up and develop that relationship. It'll be very cool. It's the first time in a movie that's a movie." What? It's the first time in a movie that's a movie. In a movie that's a movie. Mark Wahlberg, I don't know what you're talking about, man. What are you smoking? He continues on here. "I felt like when I was reading it, I was reading Indiana Jones or Thomas Crown Affair. Those two movies have nothing really to do with each other. It's got these great elements that these heist movies and adventure movies like I've never been a part of." Close quote. That's just weird. Oh my God. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg always, he can have the flair for the weirdness, you know. If you haven't seen him go off the deep end, he likes to do it with some style, with a little bit of flair. Yeah, but hearkening it back and liking it to Indiana Jones, what do you guys think? Of course, I think it was inspired by Indiana Jones to begin with. I mean, the character is like an adventurer. He seeks relics and such like that, so it's very obvious comparison there. And by the sounds of it, if he's excited for it, then hopefully the movie Uncharted will be fairly good too. Let me know what you thought about this in the comments below. Did it work for you, or were these comments just kind of like, well, a little bit sausage? Speaking about sausage, Antonio Sabato Jr. is back in the news because I guess today is a big day in the States. It's Super Tuesday. A lot of people will be voting. And Variety, for some reason, has decided to trudge up this old story from 2016 with Antonio Sabato Jr., an actor you've never heard of. And the headline basically just reads that he blames his political views for his failure as an actor. And that's why we're going to talk about him on the Sausage Files. Yeah, you know, it's just a thing. I don't really care about an actor's politics, but when you come out and say these kinds of things, it just makes you look kind of like, you know, shifting the blame to somebody else, and you got to take it all on yourself, man. Maybe it's just possible. It's possible that maybe you just were not all that good.
Remember?
What's this?
Make love to me like you did that night.
Yeah, that's the...
No more games.
Is that Heather Locklear? Ooh! Maybe I should watch this. What is this?
Come back here, you bitch!
Ooh, spicy. Wow. Okay. Maybe I should check out a little bit of his works. But what did you think? What do you think about his comments, blaming his political views on his failure as an actor? Is that just? Is that something that people should be doing? That's why I said that he's today's sausage in the Sausage Files. Moving on here a little bit into some other news, some horror movie news. There's a new Paranormal Activity movie in the works because a new writer has been brought on. Well, he's not new, actually. He's written the second to fourth one, so he's done 2, 3, and 4. His name is Christopher Landon. If you don't know who he is, don't worry about it. There's a picture of him. Huh, okay. He doesn't look all that strange. But if you like the Paranormal Activity movies, I think that there could be a place for them to come back. If this new Saw movie's a success, then it could definitely come back, because these older properties are trying to get kind of like a resurgence. But if this new Saw movie kind of goes spiral with Chris Rock, goes kind of like, ugh, then most of us will be like, nah, we're done with these kinds of older franchises. The Paranormal Activity movies kind of got really boring after a while, because it's just somebody sitting there in their living room and you're watching them on a webcam and you're waiting to see something move and you're watching that scene for a whole minute, it just got tired. It got tired. But it's a little bit of a news I thought I'd throw with you guys at you and see what your thoughts are on it. Are you anticipating it? Do you like it? Just a quick little nod. And finally today, we're going to talk about The New Mutants. The New Mutants is a movie that's slated to come out here in April 3rd, actually. And they've released a new clip called Escape. It's just a quick little one that we'll take a look at because I reacted to all the other trailers. This movie's been in development kind of prison for a long time. Development hell, pretty much. It got shot, then it got shelved. It was supposed to come out years ago. And if you haven't seen the new trailer, watch the new trailer because it's supposed to be kind of like this horror vibe of like these characters that are supposed to take place in the X-Men universe, but now that Fox was the one that was starting this, is now owned by Disney and Marvel, maybe we can see some of these characters come to life if this movie is successful. So we'll take a quick look at this New Mutants trailer, and a little clip actually, and that'll round out today's movie news.
This is a facility for young mutants like yourself. When the mutants first got their powers,
Great cast.
chances are they hurt
That
someone.
looks cool.
I know you're scared, but you're safe now. I don't
April
think this is
3rd.
hospital.
That's right.
He's there.
The New Mutants.
April 3rd. So that's interesting. And it's just a quick little clip. I guess because it's April 3rd, it's now just a month away. They're ramping up marketing, and they're going to have a lot more of these little clips that will come out, and hopefully they won't spoil too much of the movie. You know, as I said, this one was in development hell. The original cut that the director wanted wasn't going to be used because they wanted to go back and do reshoots, but then these actors got older, so they had to use the original cut anyway, so I'm kind of happy about that. I want to see if the movie can be successful with the way that the director originally wanted it to be. But The New Mutants, are you excited for this? Let me know in the comments below because I'm really curious about it, and it's one of my highlights that I want to see in April and this year overall. And that's it. That's pretty much the way that it's been today for March 3rd movie and entertainment news. Yeah, movie news. You know, I usually pay attention to these headlines. I comment to them online, and I figured I'd just turn on the camera and share my thoughts with you guys, and that's how it works on Mirror Domain's Movie News. YouTube is recommending a video for you to watch right there, and you can see my latest one just right up here. My name is James, and you're watching Mirror Domains. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe right there.